Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to look at the Bogner Harlow. It may be the most important pedal on my pedal board. So the Bogner Harlow is a boost pedal that is really a very powerful preamp based around a Rupert Neve custom designed transformer. It's got plenty of headroom on tap for the boost feature. It's got a very powerful single tone knob EQ, and like I said, a very unique bloom compression control. It's a really natural sounding pedal, and I run it after my drive section on both of my main pedal boards. And what it allows me to do is control the overall output of my pedal board if I want to hit the amp a little harder or back it off just a tad. And with the single tone knob that is a really natural EQ that can shape and boost highs and boost lows and cut both depending on where you have the knob set, allows me to kind of tune my amp and pedal board to the room a lot easier with a single knob. But most importantly, the bloom compression is very natural and gives me that consistent feel that I look for with a compressor that happens after my drive section. Ultimately, I think this pedal just breathes life into my pedal boards. And so we're going to take a listen to the pedal on its own and then in context of a full board. So today I'm using my Fender Mustang, going straight into the Harlow, into the front end of this Smart Bell Dumble style amp on top of the Little John Cab's prototype #1 loaded with EV12Ls. Miking with an SE small diaphragm condenser. Here's my clean tone on the neck pickup. So let's just kind of listen. I have the boost and the bloom all the way down and the tone right in the middle. And let's just kind of listen to all the shaping that this pedal does on its own, and then we'll play it with the full pedal board. So that sounds about unity gain to me. So let's first take a listen to the tone knob and then the bloom knob, and then we'll kind of listen to hitting this amp with all the headroom that this pedal has on it. You'll notice that the light is a red jewel light, and there is a blue jewel light that kind of lets you know when the compression is going to kick on, and so it's kind of interactive in that way. So let's turn the tone up. A lot of character on the top end. The amount of presence that this has on it can get you in a really hi-fi territory for the high end and cutting the low end. Let's listen to some of the darker sounds. It's a very lush sound, and it's really powerful. Here's the maximum darkest setting. To the maximum brightest setting. Ultimately, I like to keep it fairly neutral and then just nudge it one way or the other if I'm feeling like there's a little too much harshness on the top end, or if I need to add some body on the low end. So let's listen to this bloom knob here. It's all the way off right now, and so we'll dial it up to about 9 o'clock here. It almost gives you infinite sustain, and again, being fairly open and natural sounding. I would say that there is a slight processed feel that this has, but that's kind of what I'm going for. I've got plenty of dynamic range. I typically have the bloom knob set about 9 o'clock, so you can see I've got plenty of dynamics here. But it gives me a fairly consistent sound, and it kind of adds just some definition. It's almost like turning on HD, high definition for your amp. Let's listen to some higher compression settings. So you can hear there's plenty of compression there. Let's just kind of dime it out here. Almost makes your guitar ring out more like a bell there, with that really high attack and then the sustain that kind of lasts for a long time. So let's bring this down to a subtle setting. So we've got plenty of dynamics there. Now we're going to try to boost the front end of this amp. It's set pretty clean, so I'll have to look at the mic there and make sure we're not clipping. can hear it is a really beautiful sounding boost. That's about at noon. Let's see if we can kick the amp into some overdrive here. You can hear there's a little bit of noise when you're boosting that much, but that is an unbelievable amount of headroom in this pedal, and this is just running at 9 volts. This is a really clean setting on this amp, so getting that kind of breakup is not an easy task. Overall, I really use this not as a boost pedal or really as a compressor, but more as a preamp after my drives. It gives me some consistency as I'm setting my drive pedals in the way that I think that they sing the best. Sometimes that leaves me with varying results of feel and dynamics. And what I'm looking for is a little more consistency so that just the sound and the breakup and the harmonic content of those drives can really stand out. That's the other thing, is that the harmonic content really jumps out when you have this pedal on. So let's take a listen to what it sounds like in context with a few drives before it, and even with a subtle compressor before it, the way that I typically run my main board. So here we are with the main board, and we've got it in context now. So we're going to listen to how it affects drive pedals and just overall kind of breathe some life into the pedal board. So here's everything off. This is completely dry. So we'll turn the Harlow on. So it's given me a little bit of extra top end and bottom end there. So let's start with kind of a low gain overdrive with the steel string. Okay, let's do the same thing without the Harlow. Okay, we're going to go to kind of a middle overdrive here. Again, you can start to hear some of that consistency that it makes as you're jumping between drives. Let's listen to a couple others. Start to hear what I mean. Just kind of, it's like high definition. It breathes a little life into everything. We'll go a little gainier here. So what I did is I kicked on the Strymon OB1, which is a compressor, and it also has a boost, and that happens before the overdrives, and so I can hit my pedals on the front end a little harder to add some gain there. But there is some subtle compression happening from the Strymon. So let's listen to the clean sound. This is what I typically do for my cleanest sound, is have the compressor on the front end of the drives and the compressor on the back end of the drives with the OB1 and then the Harlow. So there's still plenty of dynamics for having two compressors running in series, kind of at all times here. But the Harlow does such a good job of accepting pedals on the front end, adding just a little bit of body, a little bit of harmonic content, and a really consistent feel, no matter what drive pedal that you have on. Even fuzzes, it does really well with. So you can hear just the definition, the harmonic content, and the consistent feel. I know I've repeated that several times here, but that's what this pedal gives me, having it on the board and having it after the drives. I have complete control over the top end and the amount of body that's coming from the pedal board into the front of the amp. I also have an equalizer pedal for more fine tuning, but what I find that most times if I just need a subtle adjustment, I can use the tone control on that Harlow and it'll affect everything, but it won't affect the front end of the pedal. So you're getting all of the compression of the high end, even if you roll some highs back in the Harlow from the drive pedal. And using it that way gives me more of a master control over my pedal board. Hopefully today's video was helpful and you learned something, and maybe try a Bogner Harlow or even another preamp pedal on the back end of your drives to give you kind of a master control. I highly recommend this pedal. This is my second one. The other one is on my fly rig board, set up in the same configuration, and I use it as a master compression, loudness, and EQ over my whole pedal board. I find that I never want to turn it off. It constantly breathes life into my tone, and hopefully it can for you too. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, please like and subscribe, share this new channel with others. Let me know what other pedals you would put after your drive section to give some master control down in the comments. Let me know what pedals you'd like to see on this channel. Until next time, I've been Colin.
You want to see your dog?
What happened? Oh, all muddy? He's sitting mud?
No. Didn't sit in it.
What'd he do?
Just played a lot.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't come up. Wouldn't listen. Good.
Occasional. Is informational a word? Okay. Hey, how's it going? All right. Hey, how's it going? All right. Hey, all right. Check. Check. 1, 2. Hey. Check. Hey. 1, 2. Check. Hey. All right. Hey, how's it going? Check. 1, 2. Check. Hey. Check. 1, 2. All right. Hey, can you shut the door?
Yeah.
I'm gonna record a video.